interfaces anymore. And I think.
Oh, you do think?
We're
That's
live,
good. I'm glad you think.
Yeah. Apparently we're live, but I'm looking at this and it doesn't look like it's live.
Does somebody want to let us know if we're live or not?
Oh, there. Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it's delayed. So yeah, I'm looking at it over there. We're live.
Oh,
okay.
Good. Hello, everybody.
Hello, everyone. Everyone, nobody. We are talking to nobody.
I'm talking to you.
Yeah, we got Neil down there. Well, somebody will come in eventually.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. Oh, Rita Martin. Rita Martin's on here.
Hello, Rita.
Over there, but I can't see it over here. So
well,
hold
she
on.
can be here too.
Yeah, hang on a sec. I'm going to do this.
He's
there,
doing
Rita Martin.
stuff.
Yes. Okay. From Hastings. Hi, Rita. It's good to see you. She comments all the time on our videos.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's nice to see you. We're doing our very first. Oh, there's Cash the Line. He's coming on live with us in about 10 or 15 minutes. We got to go through. Wait a minute. I have to look at the schedule.
You say a few minutes.
A few minutes. Okay. Yeah. So 8:15. So we're going to let you know we're going to have some winners. So when you're watching this, not live, if you're watching it later, we're going to announce the winner for the Instagram contest. We were giving away a TB, and we are also giving away a Cache Canada t-shirt from questions, a Q&A. We had
like this one?
Yeah, like that one. We had a lot of Q&A questions coming up from there's Neil Moore. He's watching on YouTube. Geosprout, how you doing? I just saw him. He was on Sir Drumalot's video. We was watching a premiere with Sir Drumalot. He was there, and he said he enjoys our videos. So and then we're going to be doing winners for the 201 book. That is from Gary Slinker, 201 caches to find before you die.
Lots of interesting caches in there.
Yeah, so we have some of them, not all. We're hoping to get more. We're going to give that cache away, or that prize away, from everyone who posts a live comment during the video. We're going to put your names in, and then we're going to pick from that and then watch to see.
That's a Miller Lundy?
Mourner's Wanderer. How you doing? From Ireland. Hey, we're going to be in Ireland.
We're coming to see you guys
in July, so we'll have to figure out if we're in the same area. We're doing a loop around Ireland, starting in Dublin and going all the way around.
My choir is going, and we're going to do some singing there. And then on the last day before we go back home, we have a day, and we're spending it in Dublin. It's a free day for us.
And we're meeting somebody from the UK. Mrs. Wewer is coming over with her husband. They're flying in to cache with us for the day. She asked what day we were going.
So we haven't picked all the spots we're going to cache. We are going to go for the oldest cache in Dublin, but in Ireland. But other than that, if you want to come and see us, let us know.
Karen said the choir wanted to go to Ireland, and I said, "Oh, I don't know." I said, we went to Scotland together for in 2014. It was awesome. We geocached and did her choir, but she asked if I wanted to go, and I was like, "I'm not really sure." And then I said, let me take a look at the geocaches.
So cache came up.
Well, yeah, but I clicked the first cache I clicked on the very first destination they were going to on their itinerary said Smithick's Brewery. So I'm like, we're in. I'm going. So that's
we got to stop there.
Janet, there you go. She was right there. She asked one of the questions. We're coming up. So let's get to some of the questions.
Well, I was just going to say, we're going to try and hit some of the other pubs when we get to Ireland.
Absolutely.
So.
You have to drink when you're in Ireland, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay. So Jonathan Reed asked, will you ever come to the UK to go geocaching?
Yes, we will. It will be in a few years, though, because we kind of have to, we're going to Ireland, so we have to, save up again to come to the next one.
We have cached in the UK at both Scotland and England. In 2014, we did a choir tour with Karen's choir, and we cached there. Would love to come back to probably Scotland.
Yeah, we just barely touched things there.
We did Edinburgh and Glasgow.
And we went to York.
Loch Lomond.
Loch Lomond.
Yeah. And York. Oh, loved York.
Loved York.
It was
Yeah,
awesome.
it
It was really cool.
one of my favorites.
And we taught the tour guide about geocaching.
Oh, yeah.
It was giving us the tour of the wall. It was really neat.
It was fun.
Okay, so the next question comes from Rick Schleifer. And if
what
you
does
don't,
Rickshay? What does Rickshay?
What does Rickshay? Rickshay. Well, I think he
says,
must be related to Sean Connery. Rick Schleifer is Komakino and the Kid, if you don't know. If you're going out west for the Geo Woodstock and the Seattle event, you will see Rick Schleifer out there. Okay, so he asked this question. Oh, there's Mrs. Weaver right there. Hi,
hello.
How you doing? We will see you in July.
Yeah.
Woo! Yay. Rickshaw. Yeah, Rickshaw. Rick says, if you ever had to give up geocaching, God forbid, what hobby would you do to take its place?
Well, one thing I've stopped doing is my crochet club. I really haven't gone for a while, so I would go back and pick that back up again.
Yeah, she makes all these blankets and stuff for babies.
Yeah, it's a charity to make blankets for people that homeless people and other charities. The other thing I would do is start playing Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah,
and I think if I didn't geocache, I would just do more travel like that we do. You see us traveling or geocaching. That's what we used to do before we geocached.
But we actually travel more because of geocaching.
Yes,
we do more weekend trips and day trips where before we would just kind of, let's go away someplace on the weekend.
Yeah, so if we didn't geocache, it would just be more outings, just finding neat places. But geocaching helps us do that. So we're really lucky with that.
It's a good tour guide.
What time are we at? 8:06. Okay. So Dan Asheson, he asks what our third, not our first, not our second, what our third most favorite cache was. Yeah. And our first was
the Eternal Flame.
Yeah.
I've been there twice and I wouldn't mind going again. I went at different seasons. So the first, when I went, it was kind of summer or spring, and the water was trickling down the waterfall, and it was just beautiful. And the second time I went, it was in the fall, and there was hardly any water. It was just very different.
Yeah, the Eternal Flame Earth Cache. We might plan an outing there again for Cache Canada to show you, because we had it once, a little small clip from a friend of ours, WV Caches 13. We borrowed a clip from his when we did an update. We were on top of the mountain in Algonquin, and we showed that.
And for us, it's only like 3 hours away, and we never knew about it until geocaching. So
Miller Lundy there asks, any plans on making the Midwest Geobash in Ohio? We want to so bad, but we can't make it this year because our Ireland trip is at the same time.
Can't do everything.
No, wait a minute.
When's it?
Just July, yeah. Is it July? Yeah, I think it's July. It's at the same time we're going to Ireland, so we have to miss it this year. But I hear anybody that's going to Midwest Geobash, TTO2 tells me that the geocaching maze is going to be at Midwest Geobash.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So if you haven't had a chance to see it in Texas, when we saw it, or you're not going to be able to go out west to see it, you'll get to see it at the Midwest Geobash.
Yeah, it's varied. It's got puzzles and things, and it's got trackables and just all sorts of information.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So you get a souvenir from, or an icon or something when you do that. It's pretty awesome. So say hi to TTO2. He's one of our was our very first Vince and Kathy Rowe was one of our very first patrons. Okay, so next question.
Is it time for
wait a minute. We didn't tell them our third. We didn't get there yet.
Oh, no, we didn't. No. We just went on our first.
So our second cache, our favorite, was the Plain of Six Glaciers Earth Cache. Yeah. So we had Earth caches. I think we're
beautiful.
Really, you can tell we're really into Earth caches. Plain of Six Glaciers Earth Cache is behind Lake Louise in Banff National Park. And you have to hike about 8.5 kilometers behind the lake, right up to a thing.
But it's worth the hike because they have a tea house up there.
There's actually, it looks like a Swiss chalet. And if anybody that's from Canada, it's not a Swiss chalet restaurant like we have, but it actually looks like a Swiss chalet building.
They have tea
Yeah.
and pie and sandwiches and soup, and
it's
it's a
an-
full
It's
kind
an
of
awesome place to
cafe
go.
at the top of the mountain.
We are certainly Orange.
Now we have to get to our third cache.
Third question.
We're getting
Yes,
distracted.
our third most favorite cache. We had two. I said one, and Karen said the other. So I said the Tin Man. We saw that in one of our videos. We went out to New York State and we stopped there for a visit, and it was the Tin Man. It was in the top 10 most favorited caches in New York State.
Yeah. And the one that I said was, I don't remember where it was, but it was this sculpture of a dragon.
Yeah.
And you went into the store and they gave you a token. And when you put a token in the slot beside the dragon, fire would come out of its mouth. It was so exciting.
Yeah. It's the Conestoga dragon or something. It's in Kansas. And we got it, I think, on the way back from Geo Woodstock when it was in Denver. It was pretty cool. Okay, so one more question before we bring on one of our guests coming up soon. Shelly Ramond, which is 13 Coach 13, and the TV hotel we just showed yesterday on our 1 Minute Wednesday was her cache. So she asks, on average, how many hours a week do you just dedicate to creating videos for Cache Canada? Way too many.
He spends most of his time doing this.
I would say probably it's on average about 2 hours a day if you added it all up. Usually we have dinner, we take the dog for a walk, and I come down, and that's what I work on. I work on videos. And
I spend maybe 2 hours a week. So
doing the
filming and doing the
and she does the
closed caption.
Yeah, so she helps with that because we have several people that we know personally are deaf, and some that are just hard of hearing. And if you don't do your subs, you can get some really comical results.
I've had some really, it's like, oh my gosh.
I actually watched a geocaching.
Some of them are illegal.
A geocaching Katie video. I watched it at work once, and the subs were on, and one of the things that came up, and I'm like, oh my God, it was funny. So, we don't have him yet. Our guest isn't here yet.
Is he behind the camera?
No, he's not behind the camera.
Are you there?
No, he's not. Okay, so while we're waiting wait a minute. Hey, Cache Line, we need you to come on into there we go. He's coming on now.
Oh, I still can't see him.
Okay, here he is. We're going to bring him
on.
So we're going to split. Yep, there we go.
There you are. Hello.
There we are.
We caught him with a mouthful.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Which way do you want me? There you are.
Hi, Jeff.
I see you both.
Good to see you.
You too.
You've been out in the snow today?
No, I've been sitting at work at the office.
Okay, so I see the shirt you're wearing.
Oh, yes.
That's got to do with your video that's coming out on Sunday, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
You climbed what?
I climbed Ben Nevis. Found that in a corner store just nearby at the base of the mountain. Yep.
Cool. And so how was that? That was the highest cache in the UK?
It is the highest mountain in the UK, in Scotland and the UK. And obviously there's a physical cache on there, which is the highest cache in the UK. In Great Britain, Scotland. People say it different ways. But there's also an earth cache and a virtual there too.
Is that where you were taking, you took vials? You had vials of dirt and stuff that you were doing, and you were looking for your mom's trackable, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of a sad story.
Yeah, we want to get some of that story onto a video we're going to do. We eventually, soon, want to do a Cache Canada TV update on everybody's travels, where they are. And that was so disappointing. It was like you were so close. Yeah.
It was on the way, and then it was in the area, and I was watching it for just in time to get to Scotland for a trip, and then it was days before we left, and somebody went in and said there's no trackable there in the cache that it was sitting in. I contacted the last person who dropped it. They went back to double check, and they confirmed it's not there, and it's still listed in the listing, but it's nowhere to be found physically. And that was part of the plan. Was I was going to get there, go pick it up, and then take it to Ben Nevis to release it into the wild. Well, to pick it up and have it travel to Ben Nevis.
Yeah, visit it. It would have made an awesome video.
Yeah.
That happens. They go missing.
And there's no track. There's there's no way to track it down. It's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not
Maybe
from
it'll show up someday.
not from the last finder. I've actually found one of mine, like tracked it down, but it's not easy. It's really, really hard.
Yeah.
That's too bad. So while we have you here, we're going to ask a question. Oh, wait, I'm going to ask that one. Oh, no. Yeah. Okay. All right. This was a good one I thought we could ask with Jeff. Joy Woodard. Oh, Joy. Joy is Joy.
Joy Bliss I.
Yes. She asked, do you like the way geocaching is going, or what would you change to make it better? And I thought that was a pretty in-depth question. It's not a
that
quickie,
really made us think.
It's not a quickie thing. I like some of the things that, me personally, I'll start. I think some of the things they're doing, they're trying different things. One of the questions that's coming out is about the AR caches, which I don't think we've ever actually found one. We've seen them. We know how they work, but I've never actually gone out to find them. I think that for me, that's just a little bit too complicated to work with the phone and do all that kind of thing. It's a lot more involved than an adventure lab. But I think they're trying different things to make it more interesting to a wider variety of people and maybe younger people. So I don't know. I think they're doing okay. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm enjoying doing adventure labs now. I haven't seen any really crazy ones that are really silly. So I'm enjoying that. And the virtuals that are coming out now I like.
Yeah.
They've got some really good ones.
Yeah, the what you said is true. They're trying new things because especially with the smartphone generation now, there's so many people coming into it that they already have the device in their hands. So it's good that they're trying new things. Before this whole trend started, everybody is trying to suggest new ways to bring new types of geocaches into the game, and it's almost like every style of physical cache has a definition. It can already be done in the game. So now we've got these non-physical types of caches, the adventure labs and whatnot. And I think it's good that they are definitely trying. I don't want them to stray too far from the core of what geocaching is, and that's that outdoor scavenger hunt. And I think because now we had that problem with the locationless adventure labs and whatnot, but the augmented reality I thought was a good attempt to try a new technology while still keeping that physical cache. It's a new type of puzzle basically, but it's its own thing that it kind of deserves its own classification.
Yeah, and they haven't made a decision on that, have they?
We haven't heard anything yet.
No,
not since the period ended. They haven't really said anything else.
Yeah, so we'll have to see if it continues. So if anybody didn't know, an augmented reality, and you used your phone, and you could see animated stuff within the video of your phone on location.
Yeah, the whole idea behind augmented reality, it's very technical, but it's really just using a camera and then overlaying something digital on top of it. But it's not just putting something on top of the picture, because you can do that. Augmented reality is technically digitally understanding what the camera is seeing and then augmenting it as seamlessly as possible, which is why when you have that camera up and you move around, the items kind of follow and the content, or if it's like you're inside a room and you move, things will kind of keep itself aligned. There's a whole lot of programming and technology behind all of that to make it work nicely, and it's improved a lot over the years. I remember when the first stuff came out, it was fairly subpar, and then when they got to doing it on a smartphone, the smartphones just barely kept up with the CPU processing power needed for it, and now pretty much all the smartphones can handle it. So it's amazing what they can do with technology now.
I think I need a new phone. So we have a question from Ken Reimer from Manitoba, and he asked, how many caches have you found that are owned by other geocaching creators? That's vloggers, bloggers, podcast hosts. And I thought, well, we didn't really find a whole lot. And then we actually came up with a pretty good list. And we have found at least, I don't know how many is on the trail, 24 of your caches on the tree trail.
Oh yes, the TCT, the tree climb
How many
trail.
caches are on that trail?
There's 27 right now.
Okay.
Great tree climb.
And Lyric Last climbed the tallest of them.
Yeah.
Three or four of them.
It was totally amazing up there.
Yeah. So we
You know,
lost
it's a
Everybody's yelling at me from the bottom. I'm like, I can't hear you.
yeah, we lost sight of her in the tallest tree. I don't know where she went. She's up there somewhere.
It's even fun taking a picture from that kind of height too.
Yeah.
A lot of those caches needed some good maintenance though, because a lot of them were film cans, not necessarily bisons, and so there's a lot of wet logs, and winter isn't the best time to climb some of those higher terrain caches.
For anybody that doesn't know, what did you call it? The
TCT.
TCT.
Yeah,
That was a
trail.
27 caches completely filled with tree climbs. You had to climb every single tree.
Beautiful area.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Some of them are easy, and some of them you might need a tool of the trade.
We did it with a group, so I actually climbed a
take turns, and that's kind of the whole point, right? It's like, especially if a group goes through, you know that not everybody's going to climb every tree, so it's really just it's for tree climbing enthusiasts. Enjoy.
And after a couple trees, you're like, I can't do another one for a while.
We also found some from Sim Rebel around where he lives, and what did I say? Neil Moore. We found some of the. It was not specifically a Neil Moore cache, I think, but it was the. Hold on a sec.
Which one?
What did you call it, Neil?
Hi, Neil.
Hey!
How'd
I get here?
Love your shirt.
It's Cold Cache Crew.
Cold Cache Crew. All right. Yeah, we found the Cold Cache Crew.
You gotta squeeze in there.
All right.
Let me move over, make room.
Okay, we'll get back to you later. Boom. Out he goes.
Isn't that kind of like call a friend?
And West Virginia Tim. We actually finally ended up finding some West Virginia Tim caches, as you saw in one of our videos.
Well, you just have to go down to that country.
Well, we just never did it. But anyway, we're going back Easter weekend. We're going to do a trip to West Virginia to do more of West Virginia Tim's caches. So look forward to that. Anyway, what else you got going on, Jeff? Tell us more about you and
well, I guess to try to answer that question, I think I've got a couple of Sim Rebels caches as well, and I know you've got a bunch of challenge caches. And there was a lake down around London where I think last year or maybe the year before,
conservation area.
Yeah. We took an ice walk over the lake and grabbed a whole bunch all around the lake. Some of your challenge caches.
Oh, I hate walking on ice.
It was fun though. The snow was like this deep, and we're like, we didn't have snowshoes, so we were making tracks.
Good. And you got them all, didn't you? I think.
I think save a couple, one or two of them. I know one of them was below the snow line, below the water line. It was kind of frozen in there. Yeah. But no, it was a fun.
Those are some very difficult challenge caches, but they're not for beginners. If anybody wants to come out and do them, you need to be well traveled. So.
But
let me see who else we got here. Okay, Katie Reed, she's on here right now. Mrs. Weaver, she asked, and I couldn't think of anything, but what was the scariest cache you've ever done, like danger, hazardous wise?
And we've done a couple tressels that we probably shouldn't talk about.
Yeah, places where you probably should. No, remember there was one in London. It was out over the trestle. It got archived very quickly. I couldn't go. It was, and if you
that was
fell,
the one I was talking about.
If you fell, you were down probably 50 to 60 feet onto rock, and I got out maybe a third of the way. I just couldn't go anymore. There was like no way.
I mean, they're fun, but.
And she did it. She got it. But I'm like,
you gotta love the adrenaline rush. That's what.
Yeah. She was. We were second to find, I think, on that.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, and it got archived pretty quick because it was an active rail trestle when it shouldn't have been there. But
there was one. We did a few underground ones in tunnels and things that have been kind of scary because there was one and it was cement and it was a big tunnel, and then the further along you went, it got smaller and smaller till you're like. Yeah. Oh no, I can't crawl through that, and it's really gross. So
I'm not crazy about heights anymore. With I went on a volcano in El Salvador before we started geocaching, just before. And before that, I was fine. But when I got to the top, we were on a spot where it was only 6 feet wide. And on one side, it was into the caldera. On the other side, it was a quarter mile, 45-degree slope down rocks. And I just suddenly froze at that point. And ever since then, I've not liked heights. If there's no barriers, if there's a barrier, I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if there's like a up tree, I'm not crazy. I can climb trees. That's why usually you see her. I can do it. I'm not crazy about it though.
I still remember our first video when because we both kind of started together, and we were out and she was climbing the one tree, and we're taking video from below and everything.
Yeah. That was a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. All right, so we have to do. Oh, okay, we're going to announce our winner from the Instagram postings. So we had a bunch of people, and what we did was Karen rolled Dungeons and Dragons dice to pick the winner. So we used the numbers and all that. So Geocaching Unlimited wins a Cache Canada trackable. And Geocaching Unlimited, if anybody doesn't know, I'll put the link, and I guess when we finish this video, we can add that. They do a website that has all the different places you can go for geocaching, all the different vloggers, the different podcasters, the different stores that you can go to. So they do that. I think they're from New York State, I believe, so they're not too far away. So anyway, thank you, Jeff, for coming.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah, the Bruce is zero, not Bruce the Zero. Remember that.
No. Not Bruce Zero.
The Bruce and the zero. Not the Bruce O. A lot of people say O. It's a zero.
Title the.
Okay, what do you got?
Lowercase t.
What do you got coming up on your channel besides the mountain coming up on Sunday? What do you got coming up?
I've still got, so I've got the 2 big road trips, the Scotland. There's still a bunch of videos to put out for that, and the Geo Woodstock road trip from last year. Those are the stuff that's just sitting and waiting in the kitty.
Get that out. Get in the editing room.
Yeah. I got to get through all of it because there's one video about Mingo I have to get out before Mingo Madness.
Yes. That's
so.
That's on the road trip.
Yeah.
All right.
And
thanks for coming along. If you're still around, we'll bring you in later. We'll cut you out now for now, and then see ya.
Bye-bye.
All right. So there we go.
I get my own screen back now.
Yeah, there you go. You can not squish me so much now. And who do we have? We have Geocacher Ken. Oh, he said he was wearing his Cache Canada t-shirt.
Oh, that's great.
He bought one. If anybody else wants one of these Cache Canada or Neil Moore, but anyway, Cache Canada, you can go to Cacher's Corner Store. Brian will be happy to help you out with buying a Cache Canada t-shirt. There are 3 designs, and we're working on a new one. If you have any ideas for a new Cache t-shirt for Cache Canada, let us know. We'd love to get one on you so you can show off your Cache Canada spirit. You don't have to be Canadian to be a Cache Canadian. All right, what are we at now? Oh, where you going? The winner, we did that. Okay, we're coming up to we're going to be bringing on soon our other guests. They're waiting in the wings.
Hi guys.
And so what do we got coming up? We have
you mean what we're working on?
Yeah, this Saturday there's no video this Saturday. It's amazing. It's but true. There will not be a Cache Canada video this Saturday. I know.
Are you ill?
Yeah.
Oh no.
We got nothing. This is it. So this is what you got for the week. We're working on one.
This is Saturday.
Yeah, we're working on a video for next Saturday. I just started working on it for another Adventure Lab video on how to. Since we did our last one, our last Adventure Lab video has almost 2,000 views so far. So it's being searched by people who want to know about Adventure Labs. But when we did that, there was no mapping available at the time. But since then, there has been. So, and I've learned a little bit more about Adventure Labs because I'm just working on mine.
And it might be coming out soon.
Very soon. I was going to publish it tonight, but I didn't want it being published at the same time we're doing this. So I think it's almost ready.
And it's going to be great.
Yeah.
It's really good.
I had a lot of fun. And one of our reviewers saw it and loved it. And one of our next guests actually tested it. And he thought it was pretty cool, I think. Well, he can tell you that himself.
He gave you thumbs up.
Thumbs up, yeah. He's in the green room.
It's not green.
It's not green? Oh, well, that's what they call it. Anyway. Okay, so Cache line, I found. Oh, that's another thing coming up.
I didn't get to see him. Do
He
the
fooned
food.
at 4.5 meters up a one beam across the bridge and found a nano and a silent. Wow, that's yeah.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
not fooning on any beams. Our next road trip coming up, we'll give you a hint because you probably, if you're watching the videos, it won't say it until we actually get there. But the reason we're going on our next road trip, we're going to Mississippi. We're hoping to meet up with Sir Drumalot. And the reason we're going to Mississippi, this was 2016. We went on a road trip from Indiana all the way down through the southern states, through Mississippi, Alabama to Georgia. We went to going caching. We did a webcam in Mississippi, and we forgot
Oh,
to
yeah.
foon.
We had to foon.
We didn't read the description, so we just took our webcam photo, and then when I got back home and I went to log it, I read the description. I'm like, oh,
So we didn't
darn
get
it.
that one.
So I tried to fudge it through, but the cache owner deleted our log and said we didn't follow the instructions. So I said, okay, I guess we got to go back to Mississippi.
That's part of the reason. We're also going to go see the 3 Happy Campers.
Yes, the 3 Happy Campers are putting on an event in
Yeah.
Chattanooga. If you're in the Chattanooga area,
Come and see
February
us.
the 29th, and they're holding it
Leap
at a pub.
day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so-
that's the best place for
Yeah.
an
And
event.
in Chattanooga, we're going to be finding my cache. I have a cache in Chattanooga I've never even seen. So I'm going to see if we can find that one. That'll be on a 1 Minute Wednesday. I'm sure we have to get it in a minute. All right, we're going to bring on our next guests. All the way from, you've seen it before, Michigan. It's Neil
Woohoo!
Moore, Cache
Oh,
Tales.
there we go. Hi.
And there we go.
Hey.
We got-
Hey,
Listen, I Neil.
and we got the Halemeister from Geocaching with Halemeister.
Hi there.
Just so you know,
There.
I now have a Halemeister and a Bob Billy shirt.
yes.
All right.
So what are you wearing there, Jason? What are you wearing? Nothing.
Oh, just Navy.
Oh, maybe. Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, Neil's wearing
I
a.
can't
We all
see
we
Neil.
all have
There you
one of
are.
each other's T-shirts, so that's pretty cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was talking about my adventure lab, and Neil, you did it last night. I think it was last night or
Yeah.
the night before.
Did you get it to work on your phone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't
That's
get
the
it.
only way you can do it is on,
Yeah.
on
I couldn't
the
get it to
phone. So
work on my phone. So
Yeah, we're having issues with the testing on our phones. You just can't
we
get
don't
it to
have
work. I don't know.
iPhones. So
But it worked for you. It's worked for a reviewer that has an
That's good.
iPhone.
Yeah.
So what did you think of it? It was good, right?
very good. I have my own adventure lab in Muskegon.
Yeah.
And it was like when they did the first push of these adventure labs is when I got mine. And so I really didn't, I kind of had an idea what I wanted to do.
Mhm.
But I didn't think about video and all these other things at the time. So it's pretty basic. It's,
Yeah.
And then I helped with, the Michigan Geocachers was awarded another adventure lab. So they put it up in Traverse City, and I helped with the video segment of those, which was fun.
Yeah, you told me about that last night, and the cache Hoosier Cache Hunters.
Yeah.
helped with audio for that, and that sounds really awesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't think people wanted to hear my voice all the time, so I asked her to do some narration, just some short little blurbs
Yeah.
on the video. So yeah, it was fun.
And Jason, you did the Geocaching Vloggers Adventure Lab, and it had video in it, right?
Yes. He had a video after, I don't know if it was after every stop or it was after most of the stops. There's 4 stops.
Yeah.
In his plus a final ammo can that you get reports through each stop. So.
Yeah, and in mine, what I did was after each, you answer the question correct, and then you go to the journal, and the journal will play a little bit of a history about the site that you're at very quick. The videos are no longer than 45 seconds long. You can play them in Wi-Fi later. You don't have to play them then, but in the video, it gives you a clue. There's 5 different clues that you need, plus a physical location you need to go to for a clue to find a 4 2.5 ammo can. So
Cool.
we're looking forward. And I like that aspect of an adventure lab that people are doing that, where they're incorporating a physical cache into it. And one that we did here in London was the tree trunk tour. You went to one of the stages. It was a tree trunk, but you didn't get information off the tree trunk. You actually had to find a cache hidden in the tree next to it. So if there was a cache hidden on a branch, you had to get the information out of that cache, which I thought was kind of neat to bring the physicality into an adventure lab.
What I like with yours and like the one we did in Traverse City, and mine's the same way, but I like the history part. You know, it's the adventure labs now are really more than lab caches. Like when you go to a mega, you get the lab cache and you might be doing a puzzle or something like that.
Yeah.
Whereas the adventure labs actually take you places, and like with yours, and I won't give away too much, the history that's in there that I mean, I know of that subject, but you gave more information than what I've ever learned in school. And, you know, you really get to learn about the places where they're at and the things there.
Yeah. I did some research with Dougie B, and he does the North American Adventure Lab map. You've probably seen it on a lot of the Facebook pages. And he researched with the guy that does the worldwide one. And as far as we know, my Adventure Lab will be the first international adventure lab. So it'll be the first one that actually straddles a border. So there are 3 of the locations are in Canada and 2 are in the US. So, and it'd be unfortunate anybody that can't go.
Gotta get your passport.
You got to have a passport to go from one to the other. So we're looking forward to that.
That's interesting.
But they're not that far apart because it's just basically you go across the bridge and
it's not a walking tour.
Well, you can walk once you get there, but you have to drive to each location.
Yeah, you have to drive. So anyway, Jason, what do you got coming up on the Halemeister?
Well, right now I'm working on a video for a special hide that I had made for me. I guess you could say it wasn't a geocache hide. It was something that was left for me in a local park by some people that came from about an hour and a half away to geocache my area. And since it was I Heart GC Hiders Week, they felt compelled enough to thank me for my hides and my email hospitality, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I saw the picture you posted.
Yeah. I made a video about when I went to the location where they said, go there and find what I left for you there. So I don't give it away, but I'm working on that video.
Sure.
And after that, I also have a video that where I help a couple in New Zealand find a geocache.
Yeah, and we're going to be in that one just a tiny little bit. Well, Karen, you won't see Karen, but I did a little bit of a clip. We tried helping out with that one, but the location we went to, the numbers were missing, and we're like, I don't know what to do now. So
yeah, it was quite an adventure that one was. So
yeah,
it's a neat concept.
Did you get wet?
Yeah, I did, but luckily for me, there was a bunch of newly fallen snow there, and so I didn't get as wet as I could have.
That cache is in a swamp, right?
Yeah.
I looked at the satellite image, and I'm like, I don't think we're prepared for this.
No. During the summer, you see, you came in the fall, didn't you?
Yeah. That was when we went to Milwaukee.
Yeah, you would have definitely gotten wet then. I was kind of lucky, like I said, to have some ice and a bunch of snow on top. So
yeah, okay, cool. Okay, we have some questions left over from people that input some questions in. Somebody said, "What is an adventure lab?" That was the last question, but I answered that person on Facebook, and we've talked about adventure labs now, so hopefully they get.
If I have my glasses on, I could read a question.
So here, Sim Rebel said, I guess this doesn't apply. Well, you guys have both cached with her, so maybe you can answer this question. Can Karen make it through a video without laughing?
No.
Yeah, we've cached with both of you a number of times now, which is completely awesome, don't you think? I mean, Neil, you're from Michigan, and Jason, you're from Illinois, and we've cached together how many times? Like at least twice, 3 times each, probably now.
Well, more than that. I mean, I've been to Jason's. Jason's been here twice. You've been here for the chili cook-off last year.
Yeah, that was great.
Are you going to the chili cook-off, Jason?
Yep,
Chili?
I'll be there.
Yes.
All three of us will be together. That's awesome. March,
and
anybody
then,
going to Grand Rapids Chili Cook-Off, come taste the best chili made in Canada. Canada matters.
Yeah. And then you and I, or us three with a Sparky Clan, we all went to hell together.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there was Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
So,
Yeah, we went to Texas with Jason.
And we're going to be caching together in Washington and BC.
in
So,
Idaho, in Montana.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And Montana and Idaho. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we've played host to the Canadians here in the United States a bunch of times, and now you get to play host to us when we go to Canada.
And we did Midwest Geobash together.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, at least more than.
Couple
Now here's a
times.
question. This comes from Colin Semple. He's Blue Quasar. We've interviewed him. He's one of our reviewers. Should waymarking be added to geocaching and defend your position? So Jeff is still there. I'm gonna see if I can
Is
bring.
he still there?
Oh, look at that!
It works.
Bam.
Wow.
We got a
I have to
four-way
sit in your
going here.
lap anymore.
So this, I think, if you go on the Geocache Talk, if anybody hasn't watched Geocache Talk, it's on Sunday nights. Jeff is part of the crew there. Sunday nights. This is one thing that Gary will bring out. He'll bring out his companies to go. That's for another show. I think this one is worth like a lot of time. It's called "Should Waymarking Be Added to Geocaching?" I think that is a long subject. That's not easily answered in 5 seconds.
And go.
I kind of wonder what exactly they mean. Do they mean like
What is
waymarks added to the geocaching map?
it could be a separate entity, waymarking being of its own thing.
Like a new icon.
And it used to be, okay, when did you guys start geocaching? What year?
2011.
11. You probably saw it, Neil. Jason, what year?
2009.
9, yeah. Okay. So we started at the latest. Yeah, all of you have been geocaching longer than we have. Waymarking was very close to the geocaching challenge, not the challenge caches that we have today, where you have to fulfill a set of parameters in order to sign the log, but the geocaching challenge where you had to go to a sign and take your picture with the sign, right? And that got eliminated. Challenges, yeah, that got eliminated in late 2012, early 13. Because I remember seeing it, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm going to go get that sign. It's just down the street. It was on Easy Street. It's just around the corner." And then I'm like, "Oh, where'd it go? It's gone." So that's slightly what waymarking was about.
Well, and even the adventure labs are kind of in that sphere of experiences too, like virtual experiences at waypoints.
Yeah. Morns Wanderer says waymarks are already in use for parking zones and trailheads. So that's part of a waymark. So, but I look at if you had waymarking, would be a multi. You're setting up one for the next. You know.
Well,
Or letterboxes.
Letterboxes.
Yeah.
That's waymarking.
A traditional or hybrid letterbox.
The real way of doing a letterbox, which is go to these coordinates, then walk 50 feet down the trail to a tree. That's waymarking, right?
And for people who are wondering, waymarking.com, I think, is the website for it. And yeah, it kind of runs in parallel to geocaching, but they separated the two because there were no physical components, and like locationless caches, same sort of thing. Like they were removed a long time ago, and they decided to make waymarking its own thing. So I don't think they'll bring it back into geocaching, but it might be interesting if they somehow incorporated that data into existing caches. Because like you said, like using it to search for like parking or trailheads, that sort of stuff, like that might all be in that waymarking database, which could be helpful.
Yeah, we have friends here in London that are really big into waymarking, and they started doing that first. And then somebody I just talked to recently, might have actually been Colin, did waymarking before he started geocaching. So it's still a thing. It's it's like going to movie locations. You know, when you saw, we were standing in Washington D.C. once. We were on the corner, and we thought, hey, that's the Hoover Building. Hey, we're standing in the very same spot that was in this movie. That's waymarking.
Yeah.
You know, you can go to a specific
The
location.
fun thing though is that website is so old and it's so difficult to use. So you can still go there and you can still find waymarks and you can log it as found or claimed or whatever by posting a photo from there, but they're everywhere. One of the problems was that so many people may have created the same waymark at the same location, or it's like something more personally related, not necessarily interesting to people. So there's tons of waymarks to find out there.
Yeah. Cam Rue, he asked the question about ARs, and we already talked about AR caches. Would you like to see them make a comeback? I've never done one, so I don't think I have. I've never wanted to search them. It just seemed to, I don't know. But I saw in the comments, I might have to add one, and maybe we'll do it near Atlanta. Dan wants me to check out his AR cache near Atlanta, so well, I might have to look it up and just try it. You never know. So that's one of the people we might see. We're going to see Stardust ZZZ. She said she might take the day off and come to the event that 3 Happy Campers are putting on in Chattanooga. And I sent a note to Geocaching Katie to see if she's available. It's a 2.5-hour drive from Atlanta to Chattanooga, so I don't know if she'll be able. She's very, very busy with her job. She's doing really well.
I got to tell you.
Yep.
Jason and we were making plans to go down for your event, but we decided that we better save our funds for Seattle. So
yeah,
you can't do everything.
Yes, that's a question that somebody had. Was Janet Uline. She said, "Are you both retired?
No.
How can we do what we do?" No, I work for General Motors. Nearby, it was a plant that opened up 30 years ago. So I've been working there for 30 years. I'm close to retirement. I'm not retired yet. Karen owns her own business, and I get a lot of vacation time. So I've been there for 30 years, so I have the maximum of vacation time that you can get, and I can also take time off unpaid if I want.
And there's always weekends and long and holiday weekends.
So right now, most of our geocaching, not like the guy downstairs right there, the Bruce Zero, we usually do our geocaching on the weekend, on Sunday, and that's usually it. Saturdays and Sundays now. I used to work
now that you're not working on Saturdays.
I used to work 6 days a week, so Saturdays were out and Sundays was only it. Now we usually target during the weekend. So that's it.
Or if we happen to have time off together, like at night, sometimes we'll go together, or if we both happen to have a morning.
Yeah, like the letterbox cache that we did for the 1 Minute Wednesday last week was a suggestion of Karen. Let's go get a cache. Well, we've never done a letterbox on camp. Oh, okay, let's go see how that goes. And it worked out well, I think. Yeah, and that was a true letterbox where you actually had to do distance and bearing, or you had to do something else besides just find a cache with a stamp. You know,
it was up a tree.
Yeah. Yeah, I was tree climbing, and said, somebody asked, "Don't I ever climb trees?" Yes, I climb trees.
You climb like
one out of
not 10. Very high amounts.
Yeah, I don't climb very high.
Climb ones that you can see not too far away.
I climb the ones I can get into. How's that?
That's because you hit the ground harder than Karen does when you fall.
Sure. And she's not going to catch me.
No.
All right. Now we know Jeff. He climbs trees. I don't know. Have we seen you guys in trees in any of your videos?
Me?
Yeah, you. And
I just climbed one.
Oh, that's right. You did
this November, December for the challenge cache. Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah. And Jason, do you like to climb trees?
I don't think I've been in a video where I've climbed a tree. Not that I can remember, and it's been a while since I climbed a tree. But I'm kind of like you, Dave, where I don't.
I think there's a Cache Canada challenge there.
Grab a ladder.
Our shoes in a tree. Remember the shoe tree? So our shoes were in the tree.
That's right.
Boy, you're Bob Billy's baby boots. Holy, things were heavy.
Yeah. He's got big feet.
He does. Where is he, by the way? Is he doing all right? I hope he's okay.
Yeah, he's okay. Maybe. Yeah. Right now, he's sleeping in the car. So
Waiting for you to go caching, I bet.
yeah, probably.
Yeah, all right. So anyway, what do we have left? 8:49. We have to give
Did we
something
answer
away.
some questions?
We have to answer a couple more questions. Oh, what we're going to do for the 201 book is we're going to take all of the comments that people have made, and we're going to find out who left comments and who didn't. Or I mean, who left comments, and then from that we're going to pick a winner, and we're going to announce that on Cache Canada on Facebook, and either that or where will geocaching take you?
We haven't done this one, and that's a good one to ask everybody.
Okay, go ahead.
Leslie Redding asks, I'm sure this has been asked before, but how and why did you get into geocaching? You vloggers of Cache Canada, and you guys.
So you guys start. Jason, how did you hear about caching, and why did you start?
Well, it's kind of a long story, but I'll try to make it as short as possible. I was unemployed at the time in 2009, early 2009. And so I had just discovered Facebook, and I was on there surfing around, looking for jobs and stuff like that. And I was playing this one game on Facebook where you had to have friends. So you have to friend people in real life to become friends through the game. And I ended up friending a guy from Minnesota who talked a lot about geocaching on his Facebook. So I would see it as I scrolled through every day. Finally, I asked, "What is this? What's going on?" Long story short, now I'm geocaching, and I've actually met the fella one time. He came down. He was passing through my area on his way down south, and I said, "Hey, you gotta stop, man. We gotta meet." So met and had some pizza and all that good stuff. So he got me into that. That was fun.
And Neil?
I found out about it at work. We had a team building day where our whole department went to a state park, and a lady had kind of set up some geocaches. They weren't published or nothing. She just did envelopes, and she gave us different coordinates, and somebody had a GPS app on their phone. And as we were going through that, I'm like, this is a lot of fun. So when we were done at the end of the day, she just gave us the website.
Hi, Michelle.
And so I looked it up. I signed up for the weekly newsletter that they were doing at the time. Mm-hmm. And so I got email every week for a year before I ever did anything with it. And I happened to go down southern part of the state to go hunting with a friend, and we came out of the woods after the morning hunt, and he's like, well, time to go get some geocaches. I'm like, I didn't know you geocached. So he took me out actual geocaching, and we did four finds, and I swelled up. I was so allergic and addicted, and so yeah. So that was it. That was the bug.
Nice. And Geocacher Ken noted in a comment there, he knows how we started, and I would just say direct you to his blog, Geocacher Ken. Maybe we'll put a link to that in the description below when we're finished. And then he had a complete write-up on how we started.
Oh, so, wow.
Yeah. And
how about you, Jeff?
Well, it was a dark and stormy night. But back in 2009, I guess I had one of those old phones before smartphones came out, and so I just upgraded to the iPhone 3GS, and I was just searching for apps, games, populating in phone with stuff to do. And somebody said, hey, you should check out this geocaching app thing. So I got it, and then didn't look at it for a few days, and then I was up in the Bruce Peninsula and decided, let's try this app and check to see what's around. And there was the one up at the tip of the Bruce Peninsula, which I made a video about on my 10-year cache anniversary. And that was the first cache I found, and haven't looked back since. 10 years later, I went back to that spot and learned a whole bunch more about that one simple little cache.
Is that where you got your name from?
No, but it is related.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a number of places that could be related to Bruce. I like the Bruces from Monty Python.
Yeah, I just call you Bruce.
Bruce is such a common name.
One of the things that I liked when we started geocaching with a Garmin Nuvi, the one you use for your car, and we did paper printouts, and then we would take the Garmin Nuvi, and you could force the thing off the road. It's not easy, but you could use it to get within 20 meters, and we did that for probably almost a year.
Like, what's the
We didn't have a smartphone. Karen didn't have a phone. I had a BlackBerry that when I first got a cell phone, I actually gave it to my daughter, and I'm like, I don't need it. She wanted a phone. I didn't want to buy her one, so here, use my phone. And then she wanted to trade it in for a BlackBerry. So with a BlackBerry, you couldn't do the geocaching app. It just wouldn't support it. So I was out geocaching one time, and then it was raining, and the rain got into the keyboard, and that was it. The phone was done, and I'm like, yes, I can get a smartphone now. So I could convert to an actual phone that you can use for geocaching, and then it took off from there. As soon as we had a GPS. Actually, I don't know if we did have a GPS before we had the phone. Oh, look, we have a visitor.
It's Blake.
There's Blake. Hello, Blake. How you doing, buddy?
He's being silly.
Yeah, he's being a goof. Yeah, here you go. Give the kiss. There you go. Yeah. Well, we want to thank you guys for coming along with us, and we don't want to
it's
keep
been
everybody up.
Great chatting with everybody.
I like how this works, like the Brady Bunch. I think we can only get 6, though. I don't think we can get 9.
Neil.
Yeah.
Hi, Jason.
Yeah.
Hi, Jojo.
There we go.
Hi.
And we want to thank all of our guests, and all the people who joined to watch. And if you're watching after, then it's not live. Leave us a comment below. Check out his channel right there, Cache Tales, with Neil Moore and Bob Billy, and check out his channel right here, Cache the Line. He's leaning over. I don't know what he's doing.
He's behind the camera.
And it's just like the videos I do. It's in this corner, that corner, and over here, geocaching with the Halemeister, right there in the bottom corner. Yeah, he's doing some great stuff. We're all doing great stuff right here. This is cream of the crop.
Okay, that's enough with the hands.
Anyway.
There we go. That's what she said.
That's what, hey, you don't have to deal with it when I'm doing video, because one hand on the camera. So there you go. Anyway, thanks guys.
Thank you very much for
Thanks for
joining
having us.
And everybody who sent comments.
That's people who joined us. Thank you very much. And it was awesome to see you. This is the whole hour has gone by so fast.
Yeah.
So, we have to announce the winner of we're giving away a Cache Canada t-shirt to one person who sent in a comment. I mean, a question for the Q&A. We tabulated that. Yep, one of those right there. Something like that. You can choose, and that will go to Cam Rue.
Oh, congratulations.
We did the roll of the dice.
All right.
He got it. So there, congratulations. And then we're going to figure out from the comments that were put in the chat who will win the 201 geocaches to find before you die. Awesome book. It's really good by Gary.
Slinkard.
Now he's escaped me. From Geocache Talk. And we are going to be giving away, this is another thing we were doing for our First Light Challenge 1000 to get the 1000 geocache subscribers. We're giving away a copy of Geocaching Challenges by Memphis Mafia. We think, we're not sure how we're going to do this yet, but we're pretty sure on our road trip coming up at the end of the month, we're going to be doing some challenge caches during that. So we're going to try to slip that book into the video, and then we're going to figure out a way to give it away. If anybody has any ideas, that would be great. What we might do is post a comment to win. We did that once before. It was very, very successful. So anyway, thank you very much, guys.
Sure.
We'll
It's been an honor.
later. Who are we going to get rid of first? Who gets voted off the island first? Ping.
Oh,
Bye.
We had Neil first, so there you go. Thanks, Jason, for coming along.
You betcha. Thank you.
Later.
Thank you. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, it's
and
been great.
we'll look forward to seeing you again. If you'd like to have another live show,
Yeah,
let
we
us
could
know.
do that.
we can do that. We have a little studio now, and seems to work out okay. All right, so awesome show. Thank you very much for coming along, CJ
Have a
Monroe,
great
Janet,
evening,
you,
everybody.
Girly Nature, Cash On, Margaret Hash. Good to see you, Mrs. Weaver. We'll see you in Ireland, and Geocacher Ken and everybody else. Thanks, guys, for coming along. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
See you on the trail.
Bing, bing.
You're
All right,
silly.
end. See ya. Hey, where will geocaching take you?